Today's daily recap is for Friday, May the 2nd, 2025 for BTG Beyond the Gates. Back in action at the anniversary party. Oh, they just allow Leslie to talk too much, right? At one point, I think it was Vernon or Danny says, "Get her out of here." Martin and Smitty both spring into action. They grab her by each arm. They were getting ready to handle her, not manhandle her, but they were manhandling her outside that door. And Ted was like, "Yeah, get her out of here." And Nicole says, "Wait a minute, guys, take your hands off of her." Like, wait a minute. I want to hear what she has to say. And Ted turns to Nicole and says, "Nicole, honey, no, we don't need to. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to tell you, but you don't need to hear it here." And Eva was telling him, "Ted, get her out of here." And so she's like, "Nicole, let's just go." No, no. And at this point, Danny and Anita spring into action, and they both stand on each side of Nicole. Nicole's in the middle. They're like gonna hold her up in case they gonna catch her if she fall, right? And they just what I don't like is they let Leslie did all the look, y'all think you know him. Yeah. This, that. They let her grandstand on crap and say stuff without, they gave her too much attention. They let her have the mic for too long, right? In the real world, she would have been shut down. You don't get to talk for 30 minutes, chick, to blow a whistle. You blow that whistle in 5 minutes or you're out of here, right? Well, they let her. Well, she goes over to Martin, and because Kat says she's crazy. Everybody, look, no, we don't need, none of us need to listen to this. Mama, you and Daddy just need to go. And she goes, "Kitty Cat, you weren't even around. You weren't even born then." But then she walks over to Martin and she goes, "But you were. You remember your daddy taking you to the diner with the nice lady that always gave you whatever, she always gave him some dessert?" And he's looking and he's thinking, "Yeah, I do remember her." Or remember that, right? Why is it people forever taking their kids when they having an affair with somebody? You're taking your kids with you. Oh, they're too young at that point. Martin's 4 or 5 years old. But he's gonna remember Daddy giggling with her, she giggling with him. They mama flirting. Is she nice to you? Mm-hmm. Well, guess what? So then she goes on and she ends up saying how Ted got Bill Hamilton, sicked Bill on her. They forced her to, told her, Ted wanted her to have an abortion. Now, according to Ted, she told him she was going to have an abortion. We don't know which story is correct. But Ted, because apparently this affair went on for a minute. It went on until Nicole found out she was pregnant. And this is the same time now Dana's realizing I'm telling you, Eva and Kat probably twins. And she stole one of them. Somebody in Comment Corner said she probably switched her baby with Nicole's baby. But when you think about it, there's nothing to gain with that. You know, I'm not going to let though Dana's deranged, but I'm not going to let my child go and be raised by this man and his wife and I take theirs. No, I'm keeping mine. And I'm gonna do like she did, plot revenge. But it wouldn't take 20 doggone years. That's what was stupid. Really shouldn't take that long for any kind of revenge. But anyway, excuse me, y'all. Still got that cough, y'all. Anyway, Bill apparently, according to Leslie, which we all know she's a liar, told her that if she didn't have the abortion and leave town, that he was going to find her and make sure there's an accident that befall them. And he's going to take that baby and sell that baby on the black market. You know that. I don't care how horrible Bill Hamilton is. He would never have done that. Never. Said, I'm going to sell your baby on the black market. Meaning, in other words, you're going to be selling Ted's kid on the black market. That made no sense for her to tell that. That's a doggone lie. And if Bill did do something that despicable, woo, then I really can't stand him. But I know she's lying. Now, yes, Bill muscled her to take this money and say she's having a sign that she's at whatever he did. Because remember, Ted kept threatening her. You want to see my attorney again? I know. If you don't want nothing to him, you don't want to see him again. So he knows Bill strong armed her. But as far as threatening to sell a baby on the black market, that's her fantasy world. And so she goes, so yeah, I said I had an abortion. I did almost everything. What I didn't do was have that abortion. So Eva's standing behind her, and then the light bulb goes on. Yeah, she's standing behind her. Eva's looking like, wait. So you said you had an abortion? You told me he knew about me and didn't want to have nothing to do with me all my life. She turned and she looked at Eva and she goes, I lied. I told you that to protect you, baby girl. Told you that to protect you. And then she turned right back around and kept on with her little taunting talking. And so finally, Ted looks at Eva like, you knew? I mean, you, I never knew about you. And so Kat said, look, they both planned this. Mona, tell them how long you've known Leslie. And she said a few months. And tell them who referred Eva to you. She goes, Leslie. Because I knew Eva too. I mean, I met both of them at the same time. She goes, I am so sorry. I did not know any of this. And they're not blaming Mona, right? So anyway, Nicole just finally says, I got to get out of here. So she runs out and Kat runs out behind her. And Ted is going to try to run out behind her. And he's like, Nicole, Nicole. And Vernon steps in front of him and says, I can't believe you have done this to my daughter. And then he goes, not now, Vernon, not now. Yes, I know. I got to answer to you, but not now. I got to find my wife. He rushes past Vernon. He gets out to the lobby, and there is Martin. Martin's running behind him. Martin grabs him because he's running after Nicole. Nicole. Martin spins him around and says, oh no, let her go. Let her go. He says, It's true, isn't it? And he goes, yeah, but this everything, all the things that she made up, I don't even know if Eva's really mine. She said she was having an abortion. I don't know if Eva is mine, you know? And so Martin says, oh, no, no, but here's the thing, Dad. See, I may have been young, but I remember all the conversations you and Mom had. Mom's crying. Mom had lost, a couple of babies. Mom's crying. You kept going out. He says, and I remember you kept taking me to the to the diner. This nice waitress. He says, I remember her. He says, how dare you use me as a cover to have your affair? How dare you? And Ted goes to try to push by. Martin pushes him back and pushes him down on the couch. That middle picture, Ted's foot flies up in the air as he hits the couch, right? And Martin was getting ready to go in. And Smitty came running out. Martin, oh no, Martin, that's enough. You do not want to do this. Come on. And Smitty's trying to push him away. And Bill says, you get him out of here, Smitty. So Bill sits up and he stands up. And Eva says, I need Ted. He goes, oh, no, no, Eva. I don't want to hear nothing from you. Nothing from you. Because you planned this whole thing. He said, I should have listened to my daughter, Kat. She said you were up to something. And Eva said, my whole life, my mother said you wanted nothing to do with me. That you pretended she and I never existed. My whole life, I'm told this. She was my mother. Why would I not believe her? And he goes, I can't right now, Eva. So he turns and he walks away. He goes home and Kat's there with Nicole. Nicole was up in the shower. And he walks in the house and Kat's sitting in the front room in the dark. And he comes in, she goes, she's in the shower right now. Leave her alone. And he turns the light on and he sees Kat. And he's like, Kat, listen. She goes, no. Is it true, Dad? Is it true? Did you do this to Mom? And he goes, look, I can't tell you for sure if Eva is my daughter. But Leslie and I did. And Kat just put her hands up on her ears like, I can't hear this. I can't hear this. And so she goes like shaking her head. He goes, Kat. She goes, no, no, mm-mm. And she goes walking right out of there. And he was like, oh. So Nicole comes out the shower and she looks at him. And he goes, Nicole, I am so sorry. I am so, and she says something to him. I forget what Nicole said because she's just looking at him. But then they end the scene there. It's going to pick up on Monday how she lays into him. Because remember, they've had conversations about that period over this last few weeks. And she said, you were always going out. I was pushing you away. We were in a dark, dark place, Ted. So for people to just say how perfect our marriage has been all the whole time, wasn't that way the whole time? Right? But one thing Leslie did tell the group that Ted said he was going to leave his wife and child for me. I just found out I was pregnant. But then Nicole found out she was pregnant with Kat. And he says he could not leave her. She did. She told him that, see, that's telling you the timeline. Those two babies were conceived about the same time, right? So we're going to see what Kat says. Now, mind you, Bill at home, Bill let Haley guess because he goes, look, don't be putting Ted Richardson up on a pedestal. Ted's got faults just like all of us. And Haley said, wait a minute, what's that supposed to mean? What you mean Ted's got faults? What kind of faults? He cheats at golf? And Bill's like, mm-mm. He cheats at cards? Mm-mm. He cheats on his taxes? Bill's like, mm-mm. Okay, so, okay. He cheats on his wife? She was just throwing that out there. Or he cheated on his wife? And Bill just looked at her. She goes, get out of here. Ted Richardson cheated on Nicole. And Bill said, yeah. So I guess, okay, somehow maybe it got word to Bill that it came out at the anniversary party. Because remember, in the beginning, see, this is how stupid Chelsea is. And when I say stupid, everybody, this is how stupid Chelsea is. Chelsea's sitting up there live streaming. Now she's live streaming when Ted and Nicole were saying their things to the crowd. But then once it all went terribly wrong, guess who still got her cell phone up like this? How's she looking? Naomi comes in and looks at her and says, are you live streaming? And Chelsea breaks away and looks at her. Oh, she goes, turn that thing off. We don't need any of this on social media. And Chelsea's like, oh. And I thought, see, no, Girl, you guys got away with that one time, Chelsea, where your mama stands up with the gun and you put the phone down so that it could still film it. Come on now, girl, you ain't that stupid. You're not that stupid, Chelsea. And thank God Naomi came in and did everything but snatch your phone out your hand, girl. So anyway, it's all out there now. And the Duprees call everybody over to their house, right? Now, who lets Danny out the closet? Oh, I think I said this yesterday, that bachelor guy that was Ted's friend, he's gonna play some kind of part in it because he's and Leslie Eva said, I tried to stop her, but she locked me in a closet. And he goes, I can vouch for that. I had to have security help get her out. But it's like too little too late. You still planning this whole thing. And trust me, the whole Dupree family, they hate Leslie and that daughter of hers for infiltrating Nicole's house, right? Eva. So they're sitting around there trying to figure out damage control. What? Ted ain't a Dupree. Ted married a Dupree. Ted's the one that had the doggone affair, right? How you damage control that? Your daughter is devastated. That's damage control enough, right? So anyway, the doorbell rings and Anita says, Chelsea, baby, can you go get that? I don't know who that could be. Chelsea goes to the door and she comes back slowly because she goes, is it Nicole? Why would Nicole be ringing the bell? And she goes, no. It's her. And she steps out the way and Leslie come walking in. Now I bet I'm the last person that y'all thought would come up in here. For one thing, Chelsea, do you not know how to say which? You're not welcome here, but which would it be? You're not welcome here. Slam the door in her face. You don't let her in the house. Okay, she didn't have a gun pointed at you. And then another thing, this is beyond the gates. Now I'm calling security saying, how in the Sam Hill did you just let a woman onto the property and not buzz up to this house and say, are you expecting a XYZ? Even though she would have gave a fake name, but they would have said, no, we're not. And this is not a good time. We're having a family situation. So I guess being a gated community meant nothing, right? It means nothing. So anyway, that's pretty much it, everybody. Oh, Andre, Eva was sitting on the couch outside after Bill said, I just can't. And she's just sitting there, like, man, she just found out her mother lied to her all her life. Okay. Mona comes out first and Mona just looks at her. She kind of looks at Mona and Mona's just like, And she turns and walks out. And who else? I forget who else, but somebody else comes out, gives her the evil eye, right? And Andre comes out. He's walking by with his camera equipment. And she looks up at him and he looks at her and first he walks by, then he comes back and he sits down. He said, so you're Uncle Ted's daughter? And she said, yeah. She says, yeah. Andre says, so that means we're cousins? She said, yeah. He goes, I could tell you this. My Uncle Ted never knew you existed. I could tell you that. And Eva said, yeah, so I'm hearing. But I was told that he turned his back on us, me and my mother, all my life. And he goes, okay, that's rough. But he didn't scorn her or nothing. He pretty much said, take care, see ya. Like, see your cousin wouldn't want to be ya. But he didn't scorn her or nothing. Okay. So anyway, we'll see what happens to her. They did have some scenes for next week. It looked like she showed up on Ted's doorstep, although I wonder where did he go? I mean, how did she figure out where? Did he get a room at the club? But the club ain't no hotel, right? I don't know. She knocked on somebody's door and says, I have nowhere else to go. And it looked like Ted's white shirt in the back of Ted. And guess what? He'll let her in. But it also showed Kat going back to the club, I guess, because she left her purse. And Eva is still there. And she's talking to Eva. And Eva, she goes, it's a lie. You're not my father's daughter. And so Eva takes out the paternity test and gives it to her. DNA test. And she goes, you had a DNA test done? And she goes, mm-hmm. So now Kat's going to have to believe it, right? So that's scenes from next week that didn't happen today. So anyway, I'll be back on Monday with another daily recap of Beyond the Gates.